Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Yelland. I'm the Managing Director at EE Business Intelligence, and by background, I'm an electrical engineer. And I'm very proud to be involved in hosting a number of Res for Africa dialogues for the past year, and in continuing this in 2022. And also including a series of discussions and interviews which I'll be conducting over this next few months.
Buongiorno from Roma. I am Roberto Vigotti. I am the Secretary-General of the Res for Africa Foundation, and really pleased to be here today to entertain the audience on why Res for Africa is so active in South Africa. We've been working renewable since 10 years, but I have a longer background, Chris, and we think that it's about time that we try to influence the South African roadmap for a clean energy transition. So thank you for inviting me to this conversation.
Please tell us, what is the passion that brings you and Res for Africa to South Africa?
Well, we think that all Africans need access to affordable, clean, efficient, and reliable energy for achieving the Sustainable Development Objective. And South Africa, too, has a huge amount to gain for building up renewable, and also not only renewable, because decarbonization, Chris, is not only renewable, is minerals, hardware, software, digitalization, education. So it's a process that we want to, with our track record, my company track record, our team track record, provide you some suggestion. Of course, South Africa is a mature market, and we really want to add value to what you're doing there. Now, what about you, Chris? Which passion really brings you here? You show passion, but tell me why you are so specifically interested in this topic.
But really, just to summarize, I want to help facilitate access to abundant, affordable, reliable, efficient, clean, healthy electricity for economic and social development. And I believe that electricity and energy is this critical enabler that we need. I'm curious, what's your view of the energy transition that South Africa is facing?
Well, I say we are very honored and pleased to be a partner in South Africa, but it's a tricky issue because you guys have a huge socioeconomic impact because of your legacy coal-based system. It is required to be managed in a way that left no one behind. You know, this is the mantra for the government. But also it's very urgent because time is now to solve the security issue you experience every day and reduce the environmental global impact. South Africa cannot afford to become one of the most polluter in the continent. So tricky and urgent, and we are here to help. Now tell me 3 actions in place in your country in favor of the true transition and just transition, not leaving anyone behind.
You've mentioned this legacy that we have of very heavy overdependence on coal. And this is a disadvantage, of course, but it's also an advantage. It's an advantage that makes South Africa a low-hanging fruit. Because so much of our energy supply is dependent on coal as a primary energy source, it makes it relatively cheaper to decarbonize in South Africa. And South Africa can become a case study for decarbonization.
Well, I have heard also that a young electrical engineer supports us, Res for Africa, in a tool we really found a really winning one called AM Power Reconnection. By chance, do you know him?
I'm no youngster or young expert, that's for sure. But I do know that Res for Africa, through its dialogues and its training programs, are really raising the bar and making an impact in South Africa. So we see the need for partnering, sharing, and supporting, not in a condescending way, with the mutual acknowledgement and to the benefit of both parties in a win-win situation for both. That is trade, business, education, project delivery, experience, and of course there is huge opportunity in South Africa for business and for development because we are starting from a lower base. So I see this engagement with Res for Africa through this AM Powering Connections dialogue to be a very powerful and interesting format. But tell me, Roberto, do you have any further questions for me? Of course, I'd be very pleased to answer these.
Well, I will have many questions for you, but I think we have to dilute them through the series of action of empowering connection, because we are now been engaging with you, thanks to you also, in technical issue, in regulatory issue, in a social impact issue. So I think that we will try to follow you and my colleague in the series of empowering connection, which is becoming a series of very much appreciated, and probably become a landmark also for our other activities in the communication in the continent. So Chris, looking forward to hear from you, and thanks for your passion. Age doesn't count, passion counts.
Thank you, Roberto. That's very kind of you.